This time I'm going to double check y'all because I did a whole stream yesterday and I was on the wrong audio format. And my dog is very impatient right now. I'm also feeling some type of way. After the, 5 hours we just spent together watching all of that? I cried many times, then got over crying, then cried again. Crazy. Hi, buddy. You want to come up here with us? You chill up here? Yeah? All right. You chill with us. But that's the dealio. I was going to check to make sure that the stream is working with no echo, that I'm looking good. I think that's good. I mean, if it's not, I'll figure it out one more time. But I think we're good here. With that said, this is episode 93 of No News is News. I'm your host, Alex R. Wagner, and the news is not news. And Charlie Kirk Memorial. Oof. That was tough. That was a tough one. My doggy is like, we gotta go outside. It's been a while. I get it. There's not a lot to say because I do want to get to the end of our show, the algorithm, where I show you the algorithm, because it's kind of the number one thing I want to point out is that we're going to see a lot of crazy shit on the internet. After watching all of that, there's going to be some clips. And like I said, the internet is now open. So with the internet now being more open, Instagram being an open vortex, Instagram Reels especially, it's going to get wild up in there. You thought you saw the hatred now. Wait until they start making fun of everybody. With that said, before we get to making fun of the man that needs to be made fun of, Mr. Donald Trump, I do have to say Erica was genuine. I fucking bawled my eyes out when she said that she forgave the guy. I know it's going to get clipped hard. I know they're going to make fun of it hard. I just know it. Sucks. We're living in a troll culture. But her forgiving the killer, that was powerful shit. If you were there or saw it or watched it, take that moment, that feeling of forgiveness, and take it with you. It's a huge piece of power, especially in today's market. And even as Donald Trump said, he's not one for forgiving his enemies. Jesus Christ, man. Donald Trump's speech, that's the thing that we really need to talk about now, apparently. My God. He said that he's going to fix Chicago for Charlie Kirk. That was one of the last things Charlie Kirk asked for, was for him to fix Chicago. So he's going to do that for Charlie Kirk. He broke his speech about halfway through to do what he's been doing for the last 3 days, which is this pure pressure with anybody to do with the health or human services wing of the government, in which he goes, we're going to make an announcement on Monday about autism, right? And you can see RFK and his wife really trying not to look great, like not to give him a bad look, but also to be like, holy shit. And that just made me realize, I'm like, thank God South Park took a week off. Thank God Joe Rogan took a week off. You didn't have to say anything about Charlie Kirk. Then Jimmy Kimmel comes about, and you're like about to, go for this free speech leftist fight and the propaganda. And now we got the memorial of Charlie Kirk where Donald Trump just destroys it all. fucking has a half an hour autism thing, and now he's gonna make tomorrow all about autism, and saying that we cured autism. When we clearly did, and the reason I'm laughing like that is because the internet, like X and Threads and all of the open forum social medias are already like responding to him talking about this announcement tomorrow being like showing Infinity War and superheroes disappearing and being like the United States tomorrow, and just like it's disappeared, we're gone. Like what's happening? Like, this announcement, and he had to do that at the memorial too, which was almost as bad as his son. Donald Trump Jr. was actually worse than Donald Trump. He went up there and like tried to do stand up the whole time, which was decent for a minute, but like, oh, was it off? And Donald Trump was Donald Trump, but he still was stoic enough and landed the speech enough to be okay, except for when he tried to break it and do weird shit like that. Then at the end, here's the thing. He knew that Erica killed it and that it was all about her and that this whole thing was like, she killed it. Nobody was going to be looking at him. So, like any good headliner, he's like, oh, yeah, the undercard was amazing, right? Undercard was amazing, right? And then at the end, he's like, let me bring the undercard back out. And it's just like, the whole time, like, if we're still playing presidential politics, like House of Card style, like politics here, like everything matters with the president bullshit, this man was already being questioned through the Jimmy Kimmel clip over his sincerity of his grieving process. His own vice president, who is like Mr. Captain Honesty and all that shit, was like, he's just stoic. He's just different. He just responds differently. And like today he had the chance to like give us something. And his something is to bring the ex-wife out there and be like, look at this. Like, it was just so, it's tough. It's hard. It's like you believe everything as a fundamental American through the entire 4.5 hours. And then this fucking buffoon comes up there from a different age and is like, it's actually all about me. No. No, it's not. Never was. Never was about you, Donald Trump. Never was about you. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to be good. What time? What time tomorrow does the world end, Donald Trump? Why don't you give us a date for this press conference? This epic press conference is going to happen tomorrow as you're like looking down at them like, right. I don't think that they've announced this press conference. I think Donald Trump keeps trying to announce it publicly and no one else will. And I don't think there's going to be a press conference tomorrow. I think he's just like going to say some shit tomorrow. Which I guess that's fundamentally what Charlie Kirk was about, and kind of gets to my greater point of like why I'm sad about it, why I feel some type of way, what my connection is to him. Grew up obviously evangelical Christian Protestant faith, standard American diet, go around Christmas time, go around Easter, yada yada, that kind of thing. So it's not like the faith was huge or big, and in moments like this, when you see people demonizing it, it does draw you deeper to faith, which is what has happened here, truly, across America. But the reason that I connected with Charlie Kirk is because after Charlie Kirk died, they're going to pull out your worst hits. They're going to pull out the worst they can on you. And I've seen everyone from Theo Vaughn to, the rest say, well, I don't agree with him, but I didn't really feel some type of way, and it's like, look at the worst hits. I don't see anything bad here. It could have been so much worse. Any comedian, they would have had so much worse. Steven Crowder, any right-wing conservative politician, so much worse. They painted this man with the paintbrush of Donald Trump, of the man that just kind of ruined his own funeral. They painted him with that brush, with that broad brush, and said that he's the same, or they're all equated to the same, and they all root down to some deep, dark, evil person that we've never heard of before, that we need to like look like they're all like demonize them all as humans and stuff. Get to the rhetoric here, which is like moving forward, anytime that somebody says words are violence, you slap them in the face. And then you say, I wasn't trying to get violent. I was just trying to reassert the conversation of reality so that we can understand each other. Violence is violence. Words are not violence. Because if you can define those two things, those two parameters in reality, like fuck the sex talk, okay, whatever. That's a secondary debate. Right now, for your own safety, we have to get everyone to understand the difference between violence and words. Words are not violence. So whenever you hear somebody say words are violence, just a nice little slap, wake them up to a reality. Like, I didn't mean to assault you, but I will agree that's an assault, and we're here, and that was violence. What you were talking about before, this nonsense buffoonery about words being the violence, that wasn't really violence. You felt violence after your words. And I'm now letting you know that I did violate you, but it's only so that you can understand words, they're not violence. So that's what we all need to learn from this. Words are not violence. Stop that shit right now in school as immediately as much as possible, and your relationships and everything. Any girl, any fucking person does that to you. No, we're not playing this game. Words are not violence. Words are separate. That's why words are words and violence is violence. That's why there's two words for fucking the different things. One is a word and one is violence. Wow. If they were the same thing, then we would only need one word for them. Does J.D. Vance run for president? And if he does, you know, they figured out the HB1 visa thing. They're doing this $100,000 fine, so people will forget about the Indian wife. Also, Erica's response there at this funeral. Talk about some gossip. That lady just earned herself some, you know, fucking white nationalist brownie points with that talk of helping Erica out on the plane. So JD might be able to pull it back, but does Erica sneak out from underneath these people and they're like, that hug, that was a betrayal too. I'm a second scorned woman, and I've been scorned a second time. And that second scorning was when Donald Trump drug me out on the stage and was like, because he knew that I was better at giving a speech than he was. Other thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of lefters that are going to go, oh, there was a lot of empty seats there. For a minute, there's a lot of empty seats there. Okay, this is a football stadium, so usually the bottom, there's not a lot of people on there, okay? We don't have a full staff for this thing, okay? There was a video that I was seeing that was talking about how there's 100 to 200,000 people outside and around the stadium, and that being able to secure something like that in DC might be able to be possible, but everywhere else it's kind of near impossible during the amount of time that they had to do this, like a 48-hour period over a weekend. So my theory, my big thing with a lot of this is I think that the ground level had to be some kind of ratio of people that knew him or family and friends, etc. So those seats didn't fill because people weren't able to fly in from that area. Those are the seats you were going to give there. So if there's some extra there, there's some extra there. Then you have all of the outer rim seats. And yes, there is a lot of those that weren't filled as well on the corners of the stage, you'll notice. But your security ratio, your fire safety ratio, you can only put a certain amount of people in the stadium. And there's a lot that were on the ground versus, and stage, other areas, versus a football game, a basketball game, a thing at the stadium. So with that said, that's why I think that's the way that was, but we're going to get a lot of that. We're going to get a lot of hate. We're going to get a lot of making fun of everybody. We're gonna get a lot of everything. Right? Are you ready for the social media backlash of the funeral of Charlie Kirk? I'm not. Are you ready for Donald Trump to autism us into oblivion tomorrow? I'm not. I don't think RFK. I feel. Imagine. Everybody's mourning. Everybody's got their thing, you know? Charlie Kirk's dead. The wife doesn't have a husband. She has to do these kids and this whole thing on her own and everything. I get it, okay? That does really, really, really suck. But isn't it a little worse what RFK is having to deal with right now? Like, he had the president of the United States at that funeral saying that there's going to be some big announcement on autism tomorrow. And his face is like, no, it's not. It's not talking about that right now. This is a funeral, sir. Oh, boy. This autism thing. I don't know, guys. Tomorrow night, we'll find out. Tomorrow night. I'm here with you every single night. Usually I'll be here talking for an hour. I don't want to talk for an hour right now. I'm so lost. I felt so sad. I felt so drained. I felt so, I can't believe it took so long. When they got to the real speakers, they were really all good. Elon Musk, Donald Trump shaking hands. Elon Musk sitting up by himself over in the area. Fucking America, man. I don't know what to tell you. This show is usually the news clips from the last 24 hours, which is mostly people being like, Jimmy Kimmel and free speech. And it's like, the more that you really take, like, deep breath in, don't be a retard. Okay, not a free speech issue. Okay? Just not even going to have this argument anymore. I am going to Dean Withers via Charlie Kirk the situation of claiming that Kimmel is a free speech. Like, anything to do with Kimmel, not talking about it. Unless there's some new fucking huge development, we're done. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to rope and dope myself into getting mad about a bunch of idiots being upset that a TV show is off the air. They're probably going to just stay off the air because it was really just going off the air. And guy has a cell phone. He can talk. Guy can make a podcast. Guy can tweet. Guy can say anything. What is Jimmy Kimmel doing all this free speech? Jimmy Kimmel is silent. So why are we defending a gazillionaire, millionaire, multi-billionaire, and a fucking LA guy that like basically was like, I hate everybody that watches this show and comes to see a tour. I just am here in LA and you guys have to watch me because you're all Midwestern hogs. Ha 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 ha. And then, like, now he doesn't get paid extra anymore. And his, like, Mexican guy has to, like, go see soccer games or whatever and not have a job. Oh, no. It's not like they're going to, like, hello. We're good here. All right. That said, let's check out the reels. This is almost like 9/11 style. Do I want to see what's going on? I don't know. I hope we have good humanity. I hope I get a lot of right wing on my reels today for you guys. I hope that we get a lot of like power montages of like Erica being like, I will take over the world. Like some Kanye music in the background or something. But I have a feeling we're going to get some really bad takes. Maybe we just get a lot of people making fun of Donald Trump. Can we all just unify and make fun of Donald Trump announcing some autism shit tomorrow? Because that's weird. Why'd you do that at a funeral, man? Like Don Jr. being like the weirdest person ever. Like, there's something wrong with the that family has autism. That's why he's so excited about this. They clearly all have autism and they can't connect. They're all just, oh, your fucking husband died, oh, whatever. Here, Let me put you up here like a fucking prop and rope you up like a doll. You did better than me at my job. The entire purpose of this was to make it was for him to feel. If there was ever a time for Donald Trump to cry, it was this one. Not gonna happen. Autism Awareness Month or whatever. Let's see what the social media says, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Back at it again.